Hi everyone. See on due date 3 we have library resources and in bold finding permalinks pearls PURLs. Um, it's I'm making that video, so I guess it's technically not a library resource, but here's why. So if you look at the project 1 annotated bibliography, if you scroll down to the A range of the rubric. So this is one of those hints you want to read not only the assignment prompt, but the whole rubric. To get an A, this is one of those, it's like you go above and beyond. You include pearls or permalinks into the full bibliographic citations as the title of the source. So they're fully functional to get people to the articles that you're citing. So what does that mean? That means, anyways, sorry. Okay, so yes, what does that mean? These links across the top are my prompting. So if in the example I gave to you all today, the first example here, if we click on that link, up here at the top, you see EBSCOhost, then you see eProxy Library Arizona. Basically, that's saying this URL takes you through the library login page. And so I'm sitting on campus right now. Therefore, I just go. If you're sitting off campus, it would prompt you to type in your username and password so you could see the resource, because library databases are paid for, and therefore only students who pay their tuition and faculty and staff have access to using them. So those are what I mean by permalinks. It's the idea that you can get directly to the resource itself. If it's a source that's just on the web, it's not in a library database, you can just put that link. But a lot of what I'm asking you to find for the annotated bibliography is a database source. So what I've got up here is a bunch of different databases with some hits, and I'm going to show you how you kind of have to look around for the resources. So noticed up here, EBSCOhost, and that's a popular one. And looking on this page, you want to look for something that says permalink or PURL, it's permanent URL, or you want to look this little chain icon. So over here in the left or the right hand menu, yes, I know my right hand side, right hand menu, permalink, there's a little chain link, and if we click on that, it shows us up top here a long URL, and again, it has that eProxy, it says Library Arizona. That's what we're looking for with these permalinks. So now let's go look at a different database, LexisNexis, and we're looking around here. Up here on the right-hand corner, again, there's a little clipboard with a little chain next to it, a link up icon. When I hover over it, it says copy document link. I click on that. And there we go again. Up at the top, we're seeing an eProxy Library Arizona. So there's that link. So close. This is JSTOR. The nice thing about JSTOR is it looks like just in the kind of title information here, see where it says stable URL. I'm going to highlight it. It's next to the picture. And again, there's a long URL, and it's got that eProxy 1 Library, Arizona. Web of Science. Okay, let's see. This is one I'm not used to looking into. Do we have something? Okay, so I'm not seeing something, and I could be just looking right at it. That's always the tough thing with this. However, see this DOI here? That we can turn into a link. It won't be a link that takes us directly into the school library, but it makes it into a functional link. And that's what you do with APA anyways, with DOI. So I'll talk about that at the end of this video. But so in this case where we can't find a link, or at least I can't find it, one of you all might, but that DOI is what you're looking for. Okay, so Gale Academic 1 file. This gave you, again, oh, now notice this is fascinating. It gave you a DOI, which is the long number here at the end that starts with the 10.1, but then in front of it, it has the eProxy. So this is kind of a nice direct link. So wanted to show you that the ones I just showed you, those are really popular databases, and they actually own multiple databases. So you'll see here, we already looked at Web of Science, but the Arts and Humanities Citation Index is a Web of Science index. It's one of their collections. Similarly, Modern Language Association, see up here in the upper left-hand corner, it's EBSCOhost again, but you're searching the Modern Language database using EBSCOhost's interface. Okay, so other ones, there's very disciplinary specific ones. So there's this Bibliography of Asian Studies. I wouldn't be surprised if these ones, so this one I didn't search yet. Let's try searching for something. The hits, they may not have permanent, depending on how robust the database is. So I'm going to click in. Oh, now this is interesting. So this is a great example of it's a database that looks for citations. If you want one of these, you're going to have to go to the library and see if our library has it. So again, I will show that tip. So think about that and compare that to Google Scholar a little later in this video. Here we have, ProQuest up in the left-hand corner. Again, it's a specific database, a social science database. But ProQuest is a popular one. So here's our article. I am looking for the permalink. Over here where it says more, I'm going to click on that. Let's see. I am not seeing. Let's check abstract details. That gives us something. Haha, there we go. So under Abstract Details tab, way down at the bottom, there's the document URL, and there's that eProxy library. So notice, these are not easy things to find. So finding the DOIs or finding the document URLs, permalinks, PURLs, you kind of have to dig around, and the databases are different. They all don't just show up in the same space. Okay, so here's databases that were science ones. And again, they might look a little different. This one, let's see. I see a DOI up here, so we know we can fall back on the DOI. Yep, I'm not finding up top here. So the DOI, again, can be turned into a link. I'm going to stop looking at more databases, but hopefully you get the idea. This one, we see the DOI down here on the right really quickly. Yes, you have to hunt for these things. They're not an easy find. I do want to remind you that Google Scholar, so it's not just Google, it's scholar.google.com up here in the address bar, is another place that you might search for resources. And if you do that, so right now I'm been searching for stuff on adaptive learning. Actually, I want more specific. Now, a couple things here. Notice I'm getting up here on the right full text at U of A library. Part of that is because I'm sitting on campus, but if you go, I think it's up here, under settings, you can associate your Google Scholar with a university library and it'll make finding resources. But say I've got something that's not, it doesn't automatically connect me to, here we go, this book, it doesn't automatically connect me to U of A. This resource is a book. What I might then do is go take this book link title, come on, maybe, and go to the library homepage and paste it in here. Now, that's the easy thing. What usually happens is you find a journal article that you're really excited about. So let's find one here. And even though this is giving me a link full text to U of A, pretend it didn't. And, oof, that's really tiny, huh? What you do is you grab the title of the article, or the title of the journal, and you come back to Come on. You come back to the library and these tabs, see where it says journal? You paste in that title of the journal and then you can use the library database, or it'll tell you what databases the journal is in and you can try to find it. Okay, so Google Scholar is one thing. Hold on. I'm going to go back. Something showed up here that was cool. We'll come back to this. WorldCat is another interesting thing, especially if you're looking for permalinks. Now, the one thing I accidentally made a mistake, the little WorldCat icon here, this little rainbow chevron looking thing underneath search. WorldCat's usually like a yellow color, but there is an Arizona specific WorldCat. And because I was on campus, it kind of mashed it up for me. But WorldCat's another place to look for resources, and you can connect it to your libraries. The last thing I want to tell you is about those DOIs. So this little URL, or this little article by the American Psychological Association, APA, basically, I mean, most of you are not going to be using print versions of the articles you're referencing. So that means you're either needing to include the URL to the journal, or if the article has a DOI, a digital object identifier, you will put that in the citation. Now, recently, APA has started making these DOIs a link. And so see here where I just highlighted HTTP, you put that before the numbers. And what that does, so right here, this psych link gave it to us perfect. What it does is it turns that DOI into a working hyperlink that takes you directly to the source. And that becomes another way, a permanent link or a permanent URL. So keep that in mind. I just threw a bunch of stuff at you. More than anything, it was primarily just getting you to think about where and how to find these permalinks, perma URLs, and DOIs, and that you just have to hunt for them. There is no magic, easy way to find them. Good luck as you're hunting for them, and keep track of them as you find your resources.